Welcome to the Hustle HQ podcast, where life, fitness, and business come together. We're here to bring you stories and strategies to help you break your barriers and unlock your full potential. I'm Connor Wigren. Let's get into it. Colton Jones, welcome to the show. Guys, we have a special guest today. I am super psyched to have him because he is also a young entrepreneur in his 20s, crushing it. He just had a killer year in 2024. Go ahead, Colton, introduce yourself and tell everyone a little bit about you.
Sure. My name is Colton Jones. I am the owner and founder of Top Team Moving here in Melbourne, Florida. Moving is pretty straightforward. It's mainly residential, but we also do some commercial stuff. But yeah, we pick things up, put them down from point A to point B. And it's been a lot of fun just learning business and how it works. Like, I didn't see myself getting into moving when I was younger. I don't think most people do unless their family's in it.
Yeah.
I think that's
How old
pretty
are you?
common. I'm 24.
Young.
Started the business when I was like 20, 21.
Sweet. And how did you start the business?
Started the business, worked for a moving company briefly. I was on the cheer team at UCF.
Okay.
And one of my buddies from the cheer team, he recommended that I go work for a moving company he was working for just after he graduated.
You were throwing all the girls around. You're like,
that.
I can pick up couches
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah. For me, like, moving, like, I'm good at it. Like, I was into the gym in high school and throwing girls around, just as you're saying. Like, I mean, I'm built for moving. Like, it made sense for me to start this business. And, you know, just being the guy that people would always call to, like, help move things, you know,
You got
before
one
the
too
moving
many
company.
calls, and you're like, I'm just going to start a moving company.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how it works. Like, a lot of personal trainers, they're like in the gym and they're, you know, people want their advice and whatnot, and then all of a sudden they have a business, you know.
Yep.
Same thing for moving, I guess.
That's awesome. So how exactly did you start the business though? Like what got you there?
Yeah, I think it's important in business to be as resourceful as you can, just like really work with what you got. So I was working for that moving company briefly, and you know, I always wanted to get into entrepreneurship, sales, whatever it was. So while I was working for the moving company, I was like, what's some extra thing that I can do? So I was driving around trying to wholesale real estate, if you're familiar with that.
Yeah.
Find
Did you have any success with wholesaling real estate?
No success.
It never felt right to me. You know how you were saying like how to serve people and help people earlier?
Yeah.
Wholesaling real estate felt just like snaky. Like you just like
Could be.
I mean you definitely could be helping someone.
Yeah.
But it just didn't feel right. Like I looked into it because it's like, you know, when you're in your 20s and don't have money to buy a house,
Yeah.
it's like a good way to flip.
Mm-hmm.
But it just never felt right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, you have to find an old lady that, you know, can't pay her mortgage.
Yeah.
And
Whoever the flipper is, they could come in and just, you know, give her the full price that you're gonna flip the contract to them for, whatever.
Just didn't feel right.
Yeah. But yeah, so I was driving around looking for broken down houses, the whole wholesaling concept. I was over here in O'Galley and I saw a couch on the side of the road, and I'm like, I was watching this YouTube video recently about flipping couches.
That's exactly how I started eBay.
Yeah.
We literally were eating breakfast one day, watched a Gary Vee video of him going to a yard sale.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm buying this and flipping it for whatever. And Kaylee and I were like, we were between nuke jobs. Like we had like a month off, and we were like, we don't have anything to do today. Let's go yard sailing.
Yeah. I've seen those videos. They're great.
And we did, and our eBay just slowly built from there.
Yeah. And I bet you learned a lot of things that would help you with Fitness Society from that experience. But yeah, Ryan Pineda is the person who I saw the couch flipping thing from, and he's out in like Nevada, I think, doing lots of real estate stuff. So he went from couch flipping to the wholesaling to flipping houses to having his own thing and coaching business and all sorts of stuff. So, I mean, I was doing the wholesaling, so I saw some videos of that.
Yeah.
And then I also saw a couch video that he was doing. So, like, while I was doing the wholesaling, I found a couch on the side of the road. So, picked that up, threw it in the car. I was driving away. Little kid ran down the street. He's like, "Don't take that, Mike." dog peed on it. I'm like, I'm taking it anyway.
You're like, I'll clean it.
Yeah. So basically cleaned it up really quick. You know, and it took like a couple weeks to flip it or whatever, listed it on Facebook. But like made $200-300 or something. So it was like, oh, I'm gonna do this again.
Dog pee free. You got it all.
Yeah, the next one, it wasn't a free one. I just went on Facebook, found one for $200, or maybe I negotiated it down to $200, but then sold it 2 days later for $700. And I'm like,
Wow.
oh, let's continue to do this.
I think one of my best flips was one of the ellipticals, the high-end ellipticals. Shit, I can't think of it. It's not like a Bowflex or whatever, but it was elliptical. And it was at a thrift store for like 70 or $100. And I flipped it on Marketplace for $800. That was a nice one.
Feels good, right?
Yeah, it feels good. You're like, that was a good flip.
Yeah. So I guess the you know, I eventually got a storage unit where I would keep like 10 plus couches at a time and keep flipping them. I would buy them on Facebook one day, sell them on Facebook the next, just send a bunch of lowball offers to everybody. And then people would say yes for whatever situation. A lot of people, you know, they're motivated to sell because they're either getting a new couch or they're moving, so they need to get rid of their couch.
And often with bigger things, bigger items, heavier items,
Can't move them.
They don't want to move them. So
Yeah.
like you can find a lot of good deals on like weights and cardio bikes and ellipticals
Well, you're elliptical, yeah.
on Marketplace, because it's one of those things like, how the hell am I going to get out of this room? Like
100%.
a single guy or a single woman.
Yeah.
I can't move this thing. No one's going to come here and move it for me. So I'm going to offer a low price
Yeah.
and say, you got to move it. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
You see those listings all the time.
Yeah.
$50, but you have to pick it up.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't thought of, you know, just like searching for heavier stuff to flip, but that is a lot of the concept with the couches is, you know, people
Do you
need to
still
get
flip
rid of it.
couches, or are you too busy now?
You know, there's some stuff where it's just the money's too easy to pass up. So like you know, there was a moving job recently. The guys were out there and customers giving their couch away for free, told them to bring it back on the truck and flipped it like probably just a few days later for $500. Like just
So-
$500 sitting on the ground.
Exactly. I was in Pennsylvania and I went to a thrift store there. They were a junk removal service, a thrift store, and eBay store. So they were removing junk, getting paid to remove the junk, listing it on eBay, and putting it in their thrift store, whatever was like sellable.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, you have a business with free inventory.
Yeah.
Actually, more you're getting paid for to get your inventory.
Exactly.
Where like Fitness Society, I have to spend money to get my inventory, and then I have to sell it. I always try to think of businesses like that. Like, how do I get, you know, paid for a service that then I can sell, and yeah.
Yeah. And moving, you know, Top Team, we do junk removal as well. Our primary thing is moving, but a lot of times people are like, hey, can you take this away? So we do. And then if we can sell it, we do, or give it to the guys or donate it somewhere. But like, yeah, there's lots of things that people just give away, need hauled away.
Top Team thrift store coming soon.
Could be. So College Hunk's a moving company that I work for. I know some of their locations, they have like, they turn it into sort of that, like they have in their warehouse, they just keep the good stuff.
I mean, I'm sure all the time people are like, hey, I actually don't want this table, or I don't want like...
All the time, yeah.
Yeah, because they're going to a new house with a new setup, with a new theme. Like,
Yeah.
That's awesome. You're already in there. Okay, so you're flipping couches, you start moving stuff, you flip couches and buy your first car,
The first moving truck.
Okay.
Yeah, I bought that on Facebook again for about like $5,000. And then, yeah, I'll be selling that truck soon. I've worn it down about as far as it
Is
can
that the
go.
one on Babcock that sits?
Yeah, it's sitting there right now.
Is that like a friend's shop or something?
No, it's right behind U-Haul.
Oh,
So,
okay. Makes
yeah.
sense.
Yeah. Well, speaking of U-Haul really quick, if anyone is looking to get started in moving, I know
right.
we were talking about this earlier, like it's the cost to start moving is very simple.
Okay.
So, I mean, you need to have the physical ability to move things like we talked about and have someone who can help you do that. And then you also have to know people who are moving that you can service. And if you have both of those things, then that's all that you need to start, because you can go and the job will basically pay for the rental of the U-Haul truck, pay for the rental of the pads and the whatever supplies you need, So like, it's a great first business to start, and it's taught me so much about business that I can take the things that I've learned from Top Team Moving and apply it to any other business that I want to start in the future.
Absolutely.
And immediately having to deal with people is another thing,
and people's things, they have that.
Yeah. So like a lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs, they get into business and they're a solopreneur. You hear that word, where it's just like, it's just them. With moving, like, you immediately have to start like hiring people, a team, right? So that's definitely a challenge. That's one of the hardest and most complicated things about business.
And I think to that point, a lot of people, the solo guys that are going to do it all themselves, they don't need anybody. I think they're going to burn out.
Yeah. And they have trouble taking that step.
Yeah.
To start a team, because that's risky. You think that you know the right way to do it, all that stuff. So,
but like, if you don't take that leap, you're never gonna grow. Like, how much moving could you really get done in a day if it was just you?
It'd be tough.
Close to none. But like, expanding to store 2, we had to expand the team. So not only did we have to put money down to open store 2, buy a bunch of new inventory, double our inventory overhead, we had to hire a new manager. So now we have a new salary to pay.
Yeah.
And that stuff is scary. But I totally see now why there's a lot of small businesses that stay small and never grow.
Yeah.
Because those like leaps are like, oh shit, like, am I doing the right thing? Like, and expanding, and and you also have to really pour into your team. I think you have to take care of those people because they're taking care of you. Yeah. And I also see that a lot where they hire just whoever, whenever, give a minimum wage. Like, I pay my team really well because I want them to take care of Fitness Society like I would. Yeah.
I think you have something very valuable here at Fitness Society. Just, like I said, there's 2 things that you need for moving. Is you need people who are moving and people to help you move. For you need the same thing. You need customers who come in and buy the supplements, and then you need the team to help you do that. Customer. Yeah.
Like you said earlier, what's like around when I said trading, you said what's building the value and what's like the why for it. We need our team to believe, and you do too. How do you care for that customer better? Kaylee's reading a book right now, Hug Your Customer. Like, how do you hug your customer every day? Like, what's the extra step you take to make sure they know that Top Team Moving is like their one-stop shop for moving, junk removal, and there for them, literally, not just coming in, ripping their stuff out of their house, see you later. Like, being thorough with the customer, reading their in-body scan in store, and actually, hey, Colton, what's your actual goal? What are you struggling with? Yeah. And I think that's like where, well, one, I think person-to-person contact has fallen off a lot. But like, for example, like in the supplement industry, the shops have become, yep, you need pre-workout and a test booster. That's what you need. Like, there's no consultative, like, talking, like, and I think people are starting to kind of want that more person-to-person contact again. Yeah. As we're growing further and further away from it.
Yeah. And you do have a really good team. And I think Fitness Society, just the brand itself, it's like, it's attractive. Like, I think it's important to have that brand where it's not only attractive to customers to come and shop with you, but it's also attractive for a team to say, man, I want to be a part of that team. Yeah.
How do you do your hiring and like training? Do you do any?
I mean, it all started on like Indeed, and I would just like find the most quality person. Some of those people turned out to be like, they were on Indeed and they found us on Indeed, and then they're like, oh shoot, I know you from high school.
Oh, no way. So do you have anyone that's been with you since like day one?
No one since day one. They've all kind of moved on. It's funny. I don't know if I've told you this, but Pearson, is he sponsored by Fitness Society?
Pearson
Malden, yeah.
We've worked with him. He's not like necessarily sponsored.
Okay, cool. But he was like a mover at one point, and he was like a neighbor of mine. There was Kyle. He was, the high school kid that like found me on Indeed. And a lot of these guys, they've just kind of like gone on to different things, and that's cool. But we got a few guys right now. Like Ruben has been with us the longest. He's been for like over 2 years, I think. So,
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, taking care of the team and stuff really matters, but labor intensive stuff, it's harder to keep them consistent. Like
Yeah.
a supplement, I feel like the supplement stores sometimes, like I almost get aggravated sometimes because it's like so cushy. I'm
Yeah.
like, if I ask to do a little extra, let's do a little extra, guys, because like there's hours in store where we're just hanging out watching YouTube. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is tough. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like the job is so easy. If we want to do a little extra, let's do a little extra today. I don't really want pushback, but
Yeah.
it is what it is,
Yeah, it's as the business owner, you're like, I want to get as much value out of this person that I'm paying as possible. And of course you want to do that, but I think if they're sitting around doing nothing, like they can make some content or something, right?
Yeah,
and
and
that's fun for you guys to do usually.
That is a big push that we're always trying to get people to make content.
Yeah.
Because if we all create content and we all do a little bit extra marketing,
Yeah.
it's a ton more, each person doing it.
Yeah.
So training your guys and stuff, picking them off Indeed, is there any like training process? You just kind of walk them through the moving?
Yeah. So being a new business, I made at first, the first people that we hired were brand new, and essentially I was brand new too. So like I was just training them on the job as I would learn.
Yeah. And you've got more process and procedure now, I take it?
Yeah, there's a lot more. Now there's just like a standard that we have of like, hey, if you can't meet that standard, then you're probably just not going to work out well here. But a lot of the people,
you have that like written out, kind of like you give it to them like in training day one, like that's the standard?
Yeah, we do have like things written out of what expectations are.
So I'm asking because that's something we're like implementing now, 4 years in, is we just had our team meeting for 2025, which we have team meetings like almost weekly.
Yeah.
But a big thing, like you're saying, we were new at owning a business. We were new to selling supplements. Like we had never sold supplements before. So it was brand new. So now this year, we're really locking down like our core values and our standard of like, hey, this is how we run Fitness Society. If you don't want to be doing this, then you probably don't fit here. And luckily, everyone agreed. Everyone liked the plan.
Yeah, I like I said, I think you got a great team. I think people are on board and they are definitely like a benefit. Like you got a good team.
Yeah, when we went to First Form, they're the ones that really pushed through the core value.
Yeah,
and the
I'm sure.
standard
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And it's like cutthroat there, like hire and fire by the core values. Yeah, it's very, but I mean, dude, it is a well-oiled machine. It runs. Everyone there is like, it's almost like clones of another. They're just like all the perfect person to be at First Form.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. And I think developing those principles in your business, like I aspire to start a family soon. You
married?
Getting close soon. No, I'm not.
No?
I know you just got married, so coming soon. But like having those same principles of like understanding what your values are and like this is how we live, and it's like written out and it's like reviewed weekly. I think that translates from business to family, and you can have your core values for yourself, understanding what those are, having those written out, reviewing those.
Something I have the team do when they do it, that works well. I buy a ton of books. Like I buy books on eBay, Amazon, thrift stores. I have a library at home practically at this point.
Yeah.
But I'm always giving them books. And I tell them like, hey, if this one doesn't click for you, just give it back. I'll give you another one. And I just keep feeding them books. And that's another thing we collected from First Form. They have a library on site that all their people read the same, like six to 10 books. But encouraging them to develop personally has been a big thing. It's really helped, kind of lock that mindset in. So like, where do you see Top Team going? Are you trying to grow your team into like managers and stuff, or site job coordinators, however that would be?
Yeah, I think this year I have written down like our goals and everything, and a part of that is I want to hire a virtual assistant to handle like admin sort of stuff.
Okay.
I want to hire a ops manager to basically make sure the movers are well taken care of and we're giving a great experience on the move. And then thirdly, hire a sales and business development person who can go out and sell bigger, more important jobs and be out there in the community and,
Okay.
you know, developing that. And I think it will go in that order: VA, ops, sales, business development. And the most valuable place that I consume my time is the sales and business development. So,
Okay.
of course, I'll be there the longest. But essentially, if I have those three positions in place, then I can be removed from the business, from the day-to-day, and I can be work optional at that point.
Yeah. I really like what you're doing with your marketing. It's similar to like what Sid and I started doing, is shouting out local businesses. I like to call it like the trust circle. If your customers and your family trust you, and then you show them that you trust Fitness Society, then that bridges that gap. That bridges that, hey, I trust Colton, Colton trusts Connor, and Connor trusts Colton. So now our customer bases, they are now shared.
Yeah. And that is powerful, especially in a community like Brevard County, where it's, you know, it's a growing community, but it's still a small town mentality where people want to work with
People.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like we've pumped Wolf Fitness. I don't know how many followers and customers that we transferred over there.
Yeah.
Now, granted, that's a very natural meshing, you know, business. But we're working on with Smoothie Paradise. We're gonna try to do a Fitness Society smoothie with them.
Oh, fun. Okay.
And just like,
is that more of a local business?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're a mom and pop. They actually go to our church. They have I think one or two food trucks in their location on 192.
Sweet.
But this year I'm really trying to think of more ways that we can like connect. Like, can I give your team hydration powder and be like the hydration guys for top team?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. No, I think all that's super smart, and I've definitely taken that approach over the past year of like, how can we do things like that rather than send money to Google?
Exactly.
Right.
It's like, it's free marketing. You're helping another business.
Yeah.
You're getting a very organic, true customer because, like you said, sending money to Google, I would like to talk to you more about ads.
Yeah.
It feels like such a waste to me. And
well, what we were talking about earlier with the day trading, like, and I was saying, Connor, I'm unsure, like, where's the value add with the day trading?
Yeah.
It seems like gambling to me. And I'm, you know, I don't have a whole lot of knowledge about it, but like, where's the value add with Google ads? Like, how are we adding value to the community that we live in by giving money to Google versus at Top Team over the past year, we've decided to take that money and transfer it to giving boxes to people that are like,
yeah, I like that.
That's actually valuable for your move. And that came from Alex Hormozy, if you're familiar with him. Like, that's a lead magnet. We have our core service offer of moving, and then we give boxes, which is before the move, and we can give them for free or at a very affordable price, and that attracts people to then want to work with us. So, I mean,
we do like similar, not the same, but we do like the shakers with stickers and samples, and we'll go pump out 50 of them at the gym, hand them out. Because how I think of it like a Trojan horse, because now, even if I give you a shaker and you don't come in today, and I've had this happen like a year, like literally a year difference. Hand you a shaker, you try some stuff, you take some stickers home, whatever, you put them up, you don't come in. But now that shaker is in your cabinet, and now you're seeing Fitness Society day after day, you know, when you use your shaker. I had a guy come in, he's like, oh man, you gave me a shaker at the Body FX event. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, when did we do a Body FX event? And it was almost a year ago.
Yeah.
But he said, I've been using my shaker every day, and finally I looked at it today and said, I got to go in that place.
Yeah.
And he came in. Like,
that's awesome.
It's so crazy. And like cost of shaker, cost of ads. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
So we have run ads, and I don't know how much success you've had with ads or leads on Google. We tried the Google Analytics. We even tried like they do those guys that call you, like the ad manager people that help you set up your Google ads.
Digital marketing agency, whatever.
That never, like the guy that works for Google setting up the ad, it never worked. maybe it did a little bit, but not like a noticeable change. And then we also ran like Facebook ads multiple times, different. That's what some of my buddies are like, oh, you have to have a better graphic, or you have to have a better catch, or a better video. And it never really seemed to work for us. The biggest thing is local to local, handing out shakers, handing out shirts, samples, and then boosting posts. Have you ever like just boosted a post on Instagram?
Maybe a couple times, yeah.
That works well for us because what we do with that is we boost it to gain followers. So we gain followers from it, and then we message those followers and like kind of send them an offer and our locations and what we do.
So we're getting into more tactical stuff here, but my media guy, Jared Quackenbush, he's great. Oh, you met him because we filmed the video.
Are we dropping that? Are we going to drop that video?
I hope so soon. They said they're finishing it up. But yeah, he said, with the social media ads, that you can choose different goals that you're setting. And, the most recent one that I did was like conversions. Like we wanted people to fill out the form on our website or whatever, or, for you to be coming to the store and purchase something. But he said that's really not the best way to go right now. He said just go for views. Okay. Just like if you have a video and you're boosting it or putting it as an ad out there as a sponsored thing, then make the goal that you're trying to just get more views in a certain area.
Okay.
And
so just impressions. You just want people to see top team. Team.
Yeah. He said that that's probably the best way to go with.
Yeah, because I guess for you especially, like for me, someone might be looking into fitness, like, oh, I want some better recovery or joint care or a fat burner, whenever. Yeah. But if you're not moving, you're just not moving. Like I'm not moving right now. You know what I mean? But I know Top Team, and I'm ready to use Top Team when I am moving. But that might not be for a couple of years.
Yeah, and I think that's a goal that I want to have, is be a very established, recognizable brand.
Yeah, I think you're definitely doing it.
Yeah, getting there. So and there's that, and then there's also just like having the right connections with the right people. So like realtors, for example, if we get in with them and we're the one that they recommend, and we do that with all the top realtors in Brevard County, like
you got all the
that
moves.
seems to be doing pretty well for us.
And this area is constantly turning. I mean, we have customers all the time that are new to the area, and then we also have customers all the time that are moving from the area, leaving. I just have another guy the other day. Yeah, I'll probably only be here another year. Like, it's just a place that people like turn and burn,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people that are like here to stay. Like, I am here to stay. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. I know a lot of people. Yeah, a lot of people who grow up here, they like head off and then they find their way back once it's time to start a family. That's
which common. Leaving Melbourne is crazy to me because I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, Northeast Ohio, cold, rainy, gray.
Yeah, who wants that?
So like this is literal paradise to me. My little brother moved down and moved back. He went back home.
Crazy. Brody.
Yeah, Brody. Dude, what are you doing, man? Now he's doing good up there. But it's just crazy to me that people, I guess living here your whole life, it's like, oh, Melbourne's a small town.
Yeah, Melboring as they call it.
Yeah, Melboring.
Yeah, I mean, Florida is the superior state. I come from Oklahoma, and we me and my family, we just really miss the people from there. Like we love the people from Oklahoma, but
And when did you move here?
Going into 8th grade, so it was 11 years ago, I think.
Tough time to move. That's it.
It was not a good transition for me. I don't think I never really clicked with the people here.
Yeah, Oklahoma to Florida, that's country to surfer,
Yeah, and I came from Tulsa, Oklahoma. So comparing Tulsa, Oklahoma to Satellite Beach, Tulsa, Oklahoma is that's actually bigger. Our high school was way bigger. Took sports and academics, took everything a lot more seriously. And to me, compared to Satellite, not to hate on Satellite, but just the caliber of individuals at my school where I'm from, it's just it was a lot higher. They're taking life a lot more seriously.
More surfer vibing.
Yeah. People are just let's go chill here. Yeah.
So one thing that I started going to beach parties when I first moved down here.
Okay.
Mind you, country, small town, very, very country, whatever. Got down here, started going to the gym, and these guys invited me to like a house party. And I was like, no way. I'm not going to a random house party. That's how you get your ass beat in Ohio. Like, you know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
like you don't go to random house parties. It's just weird. And like the next day, they're like, dude, you didn't come to the party. What the heck, man? Like, and I was like, I don't know. This is weird. Like, people just weren't that inviting, like, to just a random stranger in Ohio because maybe because it's so small, you don't get to see random strangers all the time, you know?
Yeah.
I ended up hanging out with these guys, and they ended up being like some of my best friends.
Cool.
But yeah, it was just a different change. Like, the people here are just different. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I really enjoy it, though. I think people are awesome here. I really do.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that transition where I didn't make a whole lot of friends or whatever, like that was a lot on me. I just had to like change the way that I looked at the world and change some of my beliefs. And
Look
I think
at you now. You're balling out, man.
yeah, I think over the past few years with business, like my just my social and relationship part of life has definitely improved, and
It's
taken
different,
some
though,
work.
because I did not do well in like a high school, college setting.
Yeah.
I've always felt like kind of older than I was, if that makes any
Yeah,
sense.
same here.
I didn't
was
really,
ready to get out.
Yeah, I didn't get along with the other kids. Not that I didn't get along. I just didn't
Yeah.
fit in. I never fit in.
Yeah.
But now that I'm an adult working with other people that are opening businesses and business owners, I mesh like very well.
Yeah, I can relate.
I feel like I'm thriving now than I, socially.
Yeah. People wanted like the high school, college experience.
Yeah,
they called
not
it.
me.
I'm like, that's like, what are you going for with that experience? Like,
We're going to college to get drunk.
yeah. What are you doing? But now you're in business, like the business experience. Like, there's crazy party business people, whatever. Like, there's
There
people.
are.
Yeah.
We're actually going to throw a business party May 1st or 2nd. We're renting out the second story of Pineapples.
Okay.
It's going to be a networking,
Yeah.
but also like kind of party with
Yeah.
the DJ.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a really cool like blender for not only to bring all our business partners in, like you'll be invited,
Yeah.
everyone will be,
Yeah.
all the business people are going to be privately invited, and then we're going to like blast it out to our customers and stuff.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a good place to let everyone's guard down of like, oh, Fitness Society isn't all just fitness. Like, I feel like okay going there as a normal person. Like, I'm not some fitness guy.
Yeah.
But also a place for everyone to meet everyone because, I mean, you might not know some of my business connections. I might not know some of yours. But if we can all get together in a casual setting, I think it's going to be a cool thing.
Yeah. I've never taken on, organizing an event or something, and you guys have done that a few times in a few different ways, like community, like bringing the community together. So that's definitely a
We'll get you out with the truck for the
quality that I need to learn.
for the next party.
Yeah.
Bring it out.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we have actually I can say this right now because Kaylee will see this after, but it's coming in today and it'll be at all of our events, but I just thought of it because like your truck's gonna be huge. We have a giant bodybuilder coming in. He's like an inflatable bodybuilder.
Yeah.
He's 17 feet tall, 10 feet wide, and it says Fitness Society across his chest.
Heck yeah.
I'll show you after, but I think we'll put your truck and the blow up right
That'll
next to each
stand
other.
out.
It'll
Yeah.
stand out. I just got one last question for you. Did you have anyone in your life that like pushed you towards business? Was there anyone that like really like kind of put you in this mindset?
Like, I know how much we might like disagree with our parents growing up and like, oh,
Yeah.
I have these beliefs, you guys have these beliefs. I think like at the end of the day, like I turned out pretty good.
Yeah,
So, like,
you seem like you turned out pretty good.
Good job, mom and dad.
Yeah, good job.
And then there's also just all sorts of different business people that I've connected with. Like,
Yeah.
like I said, I didn't have very many friends and stuff in high school just because I wasn't on a
You're
similar
that kid always out
mentality.
there making money.
Yeah, I mean, it was that or just like athletics, however we could do that.
Yeah.
But like, if it was like, hey, let's go party after the game, like I was
You're
like,
like, I'm
no.
going to buy a couch.
Yeah. But yeah, just like local entrepreneurs around here, I've connected to some. Whenever I was in high school, John Curry with Curry Properties.
Okay.
He was he was inspiring for me.
You kind of just saw like what he was doing.
Yeah, well, I was just like this young kid, and he was like, "Hey, let's go out to lunch," and we did that a couple times.
Okay.
So, having opportunities like that with entrepreneurs here
Very
locally, that was good. So, I would say Jason Arnold, he was my weightlifting coach.
Really?
In high school, and like he was my best friend in high school.
That's awesome.
And now he's the head coach at Merritt Island Baseball. He was a professional baseball player, pitcher. He leads FCA, if you've ever heard of that organization. He's like one of the leaders there for Space Coast.
Dude, have you ever been to the FCA wrestling? There's a wrestling team for FCA.
Oh, I haven't, but I should.
I haven't either, but I want to go.
Let's go together, because I need to get into wrestling.
Yeah, I've heard about it and I've met people that go, but I've never got like the official invite to go, and I don't know if it's like an invite thing or you just show up. But it's like,
I don't know.
I think it's in Merritt Island.
Yeah, I can definitely ask him about it.
Yeah.
Matt Kerr has been another mentor around here. He's just like serial entrepreneur, and he's just one of those guys that you sit down with, and he's like, you have a certain perspective, and then he comes in and he's like, why don't you just think this way? And you're like, oh.
Yeah, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, we have lots of beliefs that, can limit us, but if we realize what's out there and what's possible, what exists, then that's inspiring and motivating.
Limitless.
Yeah.
Mine was I really just like, my parents both had like a 9 to 5. My dad worked swing shift, 2 weeks on nights, 2 weeks on days. And then my uncle owned a construction business, and then my boss as a kid owned a couple wineries. So like the mixture of seeing all three of those, like, okay, I don't want to work swing shift. I know that looks horrible.
Yeah.
And then working at a power plant that not like, which I ended up doing, but not for me.
Yeah.
And then like seeing how my uncle and my boss managed their business and the life they had, I was like, okay, I like this, but I don't like this. And I started like kind of like, building my own mindset about business. Like, I want to be in business, but I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
I definitely don't want to work a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So what can I do?
Yeah, I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. Like when I was super young, I like started a garden in the backyard and was, I would pick the tomatoes and the peppers and then go knock on people's doors and sell it to them. Yeah. That was like my neighborhood thing growing up.
You were from the start then.
Yeah.
You were meant to be an entrepreneur.
For sure.
That's awesome, dude. Well, Colton, I don't want to hold you up too long today. Have a great day. Thanks for coming on. Guys, if you could like and subscribe to the channel, we'd much appreciate it. Thank you very much.